Good morning, everybody. Oh, you can do better than that. Good morning, everybody. Fantastic. For the first time in 2.5 years, please give a warm welcome. Jack is back to welcome us officially. Welcome, Jack.
Hola, buenos dias. Good morning. And as Tim said, my name is Jack, and my pronouns are he, him, his. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno, California. We are one congregation in many places. We honor and respect the indigenous peoples on whose land of our Alluvial Church campus sits. Within the traditional homeland of the Yokuts, this land acknowledgement is to recognize and honor the elders of the indigenous peoples and to name the genocide and forceful removal and displacement of the peoples whose land and territories were stolen from them. As part of this recognition, we encourage you to learn more about these injustices and the histories of the indigenous peoples, and to support or visit the website of the Native American Rights Fund. As a Unitarian Universalist, we welcome you no matter your race, culture of origin, age, spiritual background, or religious beliefs. We welcome you no matter your disabilities, your race. We welcome you no matter your disabilities, the amount of money in your bank account, your level of education, or neurodiversity. You're welcome if you are lesbian, gay, bi, trans, gender fluid, or questioning. You are welcome here with or without documentation. Here all are welcome. If you are on our virtual campus, we want to make sure everyone can share in your joy, sorrow, gratitude, or concern. Type those now in the chat box. This is the moment to type your joy, sorrow, concern, or gratitude, and we'll write them down and give them to Tim so we can include them later in the service. If you don't know how to do it now in the chat box, we won't have time to include them. Now, in the chat box, in person or in silence of your heart, let's take a moment to say buenos dias and greet one another.
Buenos dias. Mi nombre es Timoteo. I am Tim, and my pronouns are he, him, his. This morning, as we begin our service that is entitled The Spiritual Practice of Pronouns, we begin with the prelude that first, for the first time in 2.5 years, Tina is back to sing. Tina has selected a song that was written during the height of the fight to win marriage equality. But we bring it back because we know that the LGBTQ+ community is newly under attack, especially our trans and non-binary kids. And so Tina brings this song and dedicates it to all in the LGBTQIA+ community and all of our allies.
Scars make us who we are. Hearts and homes are broken, broken. Far, we could go so far with our minds wide open, open. Hey, tears all fall the same. We all feel the rain. We can change. Everywhere we go, we're looking for the sun. Nowhere to grow old. We're always on the run. They say we'll rot in hell, but I don't think we will. They've branded us enough, outlaws of love. Ah. Everywhere we go, we're looking for the sun. Nowhere to grow old, we're always on the run. They say we'll rot in hell, but I don't think we will. They've branded us enough, outlaws of love. Outlaws of love. Outlaws of love. Outlaws of love. Outlaws of love.
Good morning. Buenos dias. My name is Chloe Emily. I use she, her, and they, them pronouns. And I serve gratefully at this church as both the communications coordinator during the week and on the weekends as Sunday morning religious exploration assistant working alongside Karen and our wonderful RE crew. If you have a candle or chalice with you on our virtual campus, please bring it close as we'll be lighting it in just a moment. As we prepare to light our chalice today, I want to take a moment to acknowledge all of the LGBTQ+ individuals and allies who came before us to help pave the way. The bravery to throw that first brick, to wholeheartedly be themselves and rebel against those who told them they are not allowed to live in their identities or help others discover who they are. That bravery helped those of us who are LGBTQ+ to build the courage to be comfortable within ourselves, to proudly say who we are. That bravery, that fire within them, passed on to us to continue to fight for others to be able to say, I am LGBTQ+ and I am proud. As we light our chalice today, let that fire warm us and remind us that this fire has been within all of us for much longer than we understand. In that spirit, I invite you to light your chalice or candle at home while Sue, AJ, and Farhana light our chalice here on our Alluvial Avenue campus. Let us rise now in body or spirit and join in the singing of our song of praise, You Are Welcome Here.
If you are watching, come on in. We're all in this journey that starts within. If you've got a burden, come lay it down. Raise up your voices as we gather around. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you came to be in this community, you are welcome here. You are welcome here. If you are joyful, come share your story, the chalice flame burns. If your heart is broken, if you've been disowned, come join our circle, you are not alone. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you came to be in this community, you are welcome here.
Let's remain standing as we say together the words of our beloved mission statement. La misión de la Iglesia Unitaria Universalista de Fresno es amar inclusivamente, crecer espiritualmente, servir con gratitud y trabajar por la justicia. The mission of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno is to love inclusively, grow spiritually, serve gratefully, and work for justice. Please be seated.
Hello, my name is Karen Polnitz. I use the pronouns she, her, hers, and I serve gratefully as the Director of Lifelong Learning. Hola, buenos días. Mi nombre es Karen Ponez. Uso el pronombre ella y sirvo con gratitud como la directora del aprendizaje de por vida. And I would like to invite, if you and your kiddos are comfortable being on camera, if you would like to come and join me on the chancel and form a little circle or group here in front. Our children are welcome to come on down for our time for all ages. Yeah,
Any other kids? Any other kids want to come up? And guardians, parents, and yep, sit on down. Yep, you can sit down.
And you can have a seat wherever you're comfortable. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello, hello. Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming around. I want to introduce you to some of my friends. Does anyone like dinosaurs? Anyone? I love dinosaurs. And I have some dinosaur friends who wanted to come and tell you a story about when they first met each other at their new school and how sharing their pronouns made everyone feel really welcome. Does anyone know what a pronoun is? Or an example of a pronoun? What you got? Which one? Maybe? What do you think? You've heard the word before? But you didn't know what it means? Okay. Yeah. She, her, they. Yeah, those are some great examples. Any others? Yeah. Him. Yeah, do you know one? His? Yeah, his is one. Yeah. They. Uh-huh. So there's lots of different pronouns. So we're going to learn a little bit about my friends here. So these new dinosaurs, they all had their first day at their school in Fresno. They were going to the big school for the first time. But they were new to Fresno, so they didn't know anyone, and they didn't really have any friends at the school. So when they met on the playground, this is what happened. Hi. Oh, hello there. I'm Tyra. My name, and that's my name, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. What's your name, and what are your pronouns? My name is Steg. My pronouns are they, them. Thanks for asking. Yeah, what do you like to do, Steg? I really like to paint. Painting is my favorite. I like to paint flowers and rocks and trees and things in nature. Wow, that sounds beautiful. I like to dance. I do a stomp dance. It kind of goes like this. Stomp, 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 stompity stomp, 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 stomp. Wow, that's a great dance. And then a new friend came around. Hi there, I'm Annie. What are your names? Oh, hi, I'm Tyra. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And this is Steg. And Steg uses the pronouns they, them. What's your name? Oh, you said your name. What are your pronouns? Oh, my pronouns are he, him. Wow, thanks for sharing. We were just talking about things we like to do, and Steg said that they like to paint. They like to paint nature and all kinds of cool stuff that they see outside. Really, Steg, I love to paint too. We should all paint together sometime. Yeah, maybe we can do that in art class. Okay, well, let's go make some more friends who can paint with us, and we can help them to use their pronouns so that we can all feel welcome. That would be so great. Sometimes people see me and they see my beautiful spikes, and they automatically, they guess that I use the pronouns she, her. And then when they talk about me using she, her, it doesn't feel very good inside, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. So when you use your pronouns, that helps me to feel more comfortable too. Well, we want everyone to feel comfortable being exactly who they are. So let's share that with our friends. I think they'll understand, and we'll have an awesome school year. Yeah, let's go! Woo! So those are my dinosaur friends, and they really had a great school year because they made everyone feel welcome using these special words that some of us have on our name tags. And we can use those too with our friends at church, at school, different places we go. And right now, we are gonna go to our classroom. So if you will follow Chloe and Hannah, Miss Chloe and Hannah, and go down the center, and we're gonna go out and around to the classroom, and we'll see everyone next time.
We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious love. We hold you in our love as you go.
I invite us to take a deep centering breath in, breathing in peace. We hold a moment. We breathe out love. Yet again, we breathe in peace. We hold a moment. We breathe out love. One last time together, a deep centering breath in, breathing in peace. We hold. We breathe out love, love into the world. As we continue breathing together in this sacred space, some of us part of the space of Alluvial Avenue Sanctuary, others of us in the sacredness of your own home as part of our virtual campus. I invite you to imagine that that breath has the ability to just carry you back into the memories of the last week, the last 7 days. 2 questions. In the last week, were you unskillful in thought, word, or action? In the week ahead, how would you like to be more mindful in thought, word, or action? We bring our week with us. And I know that each one of us has a heart and a mind that's filled with joys, sorrows, gratitudes, concerns. How could we not be concerned in the world we're living in? But also, how can we not be grateful? Some of us stopped at the small table at the entrance to the church, wrote those joys, sorrows, concerns, or gratitudes on a small card. Others of us on our virtual campus typed it into the chat box. And this is just a bit of what is alive within us, among us, and beyond us. Bernadette is celebrating a gratitude that it's going to begin cooling down again soon. Jen is excited for upcoming Public Lands Day at Eastman Lake on September 24th, where she will be volunteering. Sally S. is grateful for the nonprofits I have the luxury of working with. Sydney S. joyfully reports that she had lunch with Brian and Edie Jessup last week in Oregon. She says, for those who may be newer to our church community, Brian had a long and successful ministry here, 15 years until his retirement in 2013. And Sydney says, if you want to hear anything about how they're doing, please see her after the service on our Alluvial Ave campus. Vicki G is concerned for her son, Sam, who is having spinal fusion surgery in the neck, for his neck, in Davis on Wednesday. Vicki is hopeful that his neck pain will subside. And several of you, including Debbie, Carolyn, and Tammy, would just like to give an update on Bev F's health. As you know, the last few weeks she has been in ICU with a serious illness. She has been getting somewhat stronger. Tomorrow, most likely, she will be moved to the Bay Area for acute medical care. And her family is saying that anybody who does know Bev to visit today in the ICU to wish her well as she relocates, which we hope for just a time, up into the Bay Area. And that's a perfect segue to us remembering all of our beloveds who are unable to be here, including Margaret H., who has moved into assisted living, Bill Maya, who is in the gentle embrace of hospice care, Denise S., who is recovering after her scheduled surgery. We remember Edith H., William H., Glenda R., Pat M., Brandon E., and Josephine J. Looking beyond our community, as we always do, because we know it's not just about us, it's about we, and that's the greater we. As shared on the United Farm Workers website just 2 days ago, over 5,000 farm workers and supporters, including Martin Luther King III, joined a core group of pilgrims as they finished their grueling 24-day, 335-mile march for the governor's signature up the Central Valley in triple-digit heat from Delano to the west steps of the state capitol. This march was hoped to convince Governor Newsom to sign AB 2183, the United Farm Workers bill that would make it easier for farm workers to vote in a union free from intimidation by grower foremen, supervisors, and farm labor contractors. Governor Newsom is on the record as of this weekend as saying he refuses to sign that for workers' rights. Also, we say her name, Breonna Taylor, and mark the confession this week by the former police detective who admitted lying about the evidence she presented to the judge that led to the no-knock warrant that became Breonna Taylor's death sentence in a hail of police bullets. The former police detective is the first police officer to be convicted over the March 2020 slaughter in Louisville, Kentucky. Lastly, we celebrate that last month, poet Ada Limon was the first Chicana poet to be named U.S. Poet Laureate. She succeeds Joy Harjo. She succeeds Joy Harjo, who was the first Native American to be named Poet Laureate of the United States. And so, in the light of all that's been shared, in all that you hold in the sacred silence of your own hearts, and for all those who on this day have no one to speak their name, no one to remember them with gentleness, kindness, or love, we light our candle of community. By our remembering, may we and they be blessed. We light a second candle. It will burn for the over 6.48 million citizens of the world who have lost their lives in this pandemic. We acknowledge that 1.04 million of those citizens were citizens of this country. Some of the most powerful words that we speak or sing in the sanctuary are, how could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. We'll be singing this 3 times as a meditation, as a sung prayer and reflection. The first time, we invite you to imagine you're looking in the mirror and just sing these words to yourself with love and compassion. The second time, we invite you to sing these words for a person you know who on this day needs healing, light, or love. And the third time you sing today, we invite you to sing it to, in your mind's eye, a member of the LGBTQIA+ community that you know that you want to surround with love and blessings on this day. How could anyone?
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Hola, mi nombre es Karen Ponetz y sirvo con gratitud como la directora del aprendizaje por vida. Hello, my name is Karen Ponetz and I serve gratefully as your director of lifelong learning. As those of us on our Alluvial Ave campus entered the sanctuary this morning, we walked between two pride flags with great meaning. However, many of us don't know much about the history or meaning of these flags. So let's take a little walk through history together. The original pride flag was created by Gilbert Baker in 1978. At the request of San Francisco City Supervisor Harvey Milk, he set out to craft a symbol of pride for the LGBTQ+ community and celebrate increasing visibility. This version of the flag contained 8 stripes: hot pink for sex, red for life, orange for healing, yellow for sunlight, green for nature, turquoise for art and magic, indigo for serenity or harmony, and violet for spirit. As the rainbow pride flag symbol took hold, desires to mass produce the flag presented difficulties in maintaining the original colors, as the hot pink fabric was not often available. The turquoise was also dropped to maintain an even number of stripes, and we were introduced to the most common 6-color LGBTQ+ flag in 1979. In 2018, Daniel Quasar adapted the traditional rainbow flag with an arrow to emphasize movement toward inclusivity and progression, adding a 5-colored chevron informing the Progress Pride flag we display in front of the sanctuary today. This version adds to the rainbow stripes: red for life, orange for healing, yellow for sunlight, green for nature, blue for art and serenity, and violet for spirit, by representing trans and non-binary individuals with the light blue, pink, and white stripes, and honoring marginalized Black, Indigenous, people of color communities with the black and brown stripes. Gilbert Baker's original design has inspired the creation of many other pride flags, often seeking to represent specific groups within the larger umbrella of the LGBTQIA+ community. At the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno, we also fly the non-binary pride flag, created by Kai Rowan in 2014. Here, the yellow stripe represents those whose gender falls outside of the male-female binary. White represents those with many or all genders. Purple represents those whose gender identity falls between male or female or is a mix of both. And the black stripe represents all who identify as not having a gender. Throughout history, flags and symbols change, but the meaning at the heart of their creation is a constant truth. Who we are, however we are, is beautiful and should be celebrated with pride. Please stand with us in body or spirit to sing "There's More Love Somewhere," opening our hearts to the full meaning of our flags and offering this sanctuary as a sacred space where there is indeed more love, acceptance, and pride for the totality of who we all are.
Please rise.
Somewhere There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere.
Please be seated. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Leslie. It's just a pronoun. No, it's not. Trust me, some of the smallest things can make a world of difference. So says Samantha, a trans woman. Last week, I was participating in a Zoom webinar. The facilitator began with an introduction. Buenos dias, mi nombre es Declan. Good morning, my name is Declan, and my pronouns are they, them, theirs. Please take a moment and add your pronouns to your name in the Zoom room. As I was adding he, him, his to my Zoom ID, a colleague of mine, also in the webinar, sent me a private chat. Why do I need to list my pronouns next to my name? I have a full beard and mustache. It doesn't take much to know I'm a guy. I took a deep breath and typed back. Why make it about you? What if identifying your pronouns is about signaling to someone else that you are sensitive to gender diversity? My friend typed back, huh? I replied, what if identifying your pronouns is signaling that you aren't making an assumption about anyone else's gender? Since you are part of this cisgendered majority, what if identifying your pronouns is signaling that all people are welcome here regardless of gender identity? He typed back, I hadn't thought about it in that way. I replied, many of us haven't had to think about it because we are comfortable living in a world that categorizes people as either this or that. But there are a lot of people for whom that doesn't match their authentic selves. He responded, I guess sharing pronouns is like flying the pride flag. It's a way of saying, this is a safe place for you to be exactly who you are. As I commented in a sermon last year, I was raised at a time when the cultural and religious norm regarding gender was binary, which means there are only two options when it comes to gender: girl, boy, man, woman, female, male. Within that binary, there were strict gender rules that defined what it meant to be a real woman and what it meant to be a real man. Those norms were, of course, defined largely by men, usually as a way to control and devalue anyone they didn't think was a real man. To step outside of those rigid binary norms was immediately to be seen as less than and other. This narrow understanding of gender gave no space for anyone who didn't fit into this binary construction of gender. It limited gender identity. What is gender identity? Gender identity is how and what you feel inside in terms of gender, who you know yourself to be, and how you express your gender through clothing, behavior, and personal experience. For some of us, whatever gender we are now is the same as what was assigned to us at birth. We are cisgender, based on the Latin word cis, meaning on the same side. Others of us know that the gender assigned to us at birth is different than our true gender identity. For example, our gender presumed at birth was female, but our gender identity, how we feel and who we are inside, is male. We are transgender, or trans. Trans being a word that means on the other side. Some of us do not identify with the categories of male and female. We are non-binary, or as some prefer to call ourselves, gender queer. For others of us, our gender identity can shift within and between the female and male spectrum, or be a unique and wonderful mix. We are gender fluid or gender expansive. Some of us identify as having no gender. We are agender. Some of us are questioning or exploring our gender identity. Some of us choose to not label ourselves in any way. The world can be an inhospitable, unyielding, grueling, dangerous, and sometimes deadly place for those who identify as trans, non-binary, genderqueer, gender fluid, gender expansive, agender, or non-gender. Today, we know in parts of this country, their very right to exist is being erased by state legislatures and school boards. Chella Mann, a popular author, artist, actor, and YouTube sensation, writes, "All of who I am lies on a continuum. My identity cannot be encompassed by a single term. My ethnicity, I am biracial. I'm both Jewish and Chinese. My gender, I exist outside the binary of boy and girl. My disability, I am deaf with access to some sound through 2 cochlear implants." Chella Mann continues, "I have not always known these gender expressions. To understand them, I first had to unlearn. It required diving deep into the systems that oppressed me, scraping the surface to expose them, and studying their roots. And while it was terrifying, I understand that communities standing by me would always offer support. That love and empathy, products of this ever-long process of discovery, can melt the cold, hard surface of the iceberg. Together, we will rebuild these systems around inclusivity and accessibility by embracing individuality and by living our truths. As Unitarian Universalists, I believe we are being called to become and be this community of support. We are called to rebuild our congregation around greater inclusivity and accessibility. We are called to embrace individuality and to allow each other to live our truths, remembering that we are all interconnected and responsible to and for each other. This is why we recently voted to add an 8th principle to our previous 7. Respecting, honoring, celebrating gender identity was part of that vote. I often say that the purpose of our Unitarian Universalist religion is to expand the boundaries of our heart so we can hold more, care more, and love more. That's why our mission statement begins, and will you say this with me, please? La misión de la Iglesia Unitaria Universalista de Fresno es amar inclusivamente. The mission of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno is to love inclusively. We believe that loving inclusively is a core value of our Unitarian Universalist faith, a faith that cries out, whoever you are, wherever you are on your journey, whatever you are welcome here. Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your journey, here you are welcome. You are welcome here. To collectively live out this welcome as inclusively as possible, dear ones, is a spiritual practice. It is a spiritual practice to create a space, to create a place that is truly welcoming of the full spectrum of gender identities. It is a spiritual practice to be mindful of our pronouns. It is a spiritual practice to share our pronouns so that others might feel comfortable sharing theirs. It is a spiritual practice to share our pronouns so that others might feel comfortable showing up as their true selves. So, as a spiritual practice, after our name, we might add our pronouns. She, her. Others of us might list he, him. Some of us may use one set of pronouns one day and the other set of pronouns the next because of our gender fluidity. Others of us might identify they, them, which is signaling we don't identify on the binary spectrum of gender, or we just want to be gender inclusive. Others of us might identify our gender fluidity or non-binary identity as she, they, she, he, or he, them. Some of us choose to use no pronouns at all and use our name instead. Others use brand new pronouns that have been created as intentionally gender neutral, new pronouns for this new time, including but not limited to sie, here, hears, sie, zir, zirs. When talking about gender inclusion and using gender-inclusive pronouns in a Unitarian Universalist congregation, that usually has just a few teachers, some of them English teachers. We sometimes get pushback from those of us who believe that we should not refer to a singular person with the plural they, them, because it is not grammatically correct. Is anybody willing to cop to that? So let me offer, thank you, Carrie. Let me offer a gentle reframe. Language is a living thing. It changes and adapts over time. In fact, in the year 1396, Geoffrey Chaucer used they as a singular in his book, Canterbury Tales. Shakespeare also did it. Now, granted, in the year 2000, they, them was generally understood to be plural. But in 2022, there is a growing understanding that it is plural and singular. Language changes. Those of us who are cisgender need to remember that language is not about the way we want it to be. It is about the way some need it to be in order to survive and thrive. Creating a space, creating a place that is truly welcoming of the full spectrum of gender identities is a spiritual practice. It could be, dare I say, should be our spiritual practice. So today, we begin the spiritual practice together as a Unitarian Universalist community of faith. We're going to take some baby steps with good intentions. On our virtual campus, we invite you to introduce yourself in the chat box with your pronouns. And then after the service, everybody can update your social media to display your pronouns. If you don't know how to do that, ask us to help. That's Chloe at the beginning of the service, our communications coordinator. She'll figure it out for you. I spent a half hour trying on Facebook yesterday to have my name, Tim Kutzmark. How do I add he, him, his on that main title page? I couldn't figure it out, but Chloe's going to help me. In Zoom, how many of us use Zoom? I know not everybody loves it, but how many of us use Zoom? In Zoom, we can add our pronouns next to our names. It doesn't hurt to put apostrophe, boop, boop, apostrophe. On either church campus, at the start of meetings, classes, and workshops, we can just begin by introducing ourselves. Hi, I'm Tim, and my pronouns are he, him, his. See, no lightning came from the sky. Here on our Alluvial Avenue campus, today, after the service, outside in the courtyard, we have a table set up with green pronoun ribbons, bingo, that we can choose to add to our name tag. There are they, them ribbons. There are she, her ribbons. There are he, him ribbons. There are blank ribbons and black Sharpies, so you can add and identify with other pronouns of your choice. I really hope we will do this. And if you don't have a name tag, talk to Patty, get one, and then let's slap one of those green ribbons on it. Dear ones, in all seriousness, it is a spiritual practice to share our pronouns so that others might feel comfortable showing up as their true selves. We end with words from Reverend Teresa Soto, a Unitarian Universalist minister of color whose pronouns are they, them, theirs. I invite us to open our hearts and minds to these words. But I especially invite those of us who identify as cisgender to open our hearts and minds so that we may grow, deepen, and perhaps, as needed, change. Reverend Teresa Soto writes, "Dear trans, non-binary, genderqueer, and gender-expansive friends and kin, and those of us whose gender is survival. You are not hard to love and respect. Your existence is a blessing. Your pronouns are not a burden or a trial. They are part of your name, just shorter. Some of our kind use only their names, where pronouns would be the names they are called. Remember that someone getting them wrong is not a poor reflection on you. It's not your fault. Your body really and truly belongs to you, no one else. The stories of your body, the names of your body's parts, your body's privacy, the sum of your body's glory. It is not okay for anyone to press their story of you back to the beginning of our liberation. We will find the people ready to be on the freedom for the people way. We will go on. No one can rename you other. It can't stick as you offer the gift of being and saying who you are. Mostly, though, your stories belong to you. Your joy and complexity are beautiful. However you may choose to tell it or not tell it. Some folks, cis, may take their liberty for an unholy license. You are beloved. Please keep to our shared tasks of healing, getting free. Que así sea. Bendito sea. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
Hi, my name is Scout, and this song is about being non-binary. I hope you like it.
Do I like the evidence? You say there's no offense. So many assume you see. Who is he and who is she? Just met and you think I'm someone else. Well, I'm trying to do me so I feel myself. Assumptions got me so annoyed. I'm not a girl, I'm not a boy. Do I like the evidence? You say it was an accident, but my pronouns do belong till they tell me I am wrong. So what's wrong with me? The world has seen someone that I don't see. Maybe the problems you're looking need to stop identifying people by their bodies. Yeah, what's wrong with me? The world has seen someone that I don't see. I've had a hard time trying to fit between the lines, and that's not my fault. Just met and you think I'm someone else. Well, I'm trying to do me so I feel myself. Assumptions got me so annoyed. I'm not a girl.
And my pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I am a member of the worship arts team here at the church. The Reverend Wayne Arneson, a Unitarian Universalist minister, famously said, "Take courage, friends. The way is often hard. The path is never clear. And the stakes are very high. Take courage, for deep down, there's another truth. You are not alone. We are not alone." The Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno, led by my friend, Reverend Tim Kutzmark, has been a supportive and compassionate friend to me since I moved to Fresno 6 years ago. All of my life, I felt different, feeling most comfortable around other people who feel different. For me, this church has been a place where that difference is celebrated, where there is an open, caring, and compassionate embracing of diversity, of the human experience, where I've been reminded time and time again that I'm not alone in this world. This has led me to support the church financially and also by serving very gratefully as a worship associate and as a vocalist. These are two ways I show my gratitude for the compassion and the acceptance that have been consistently extended to me in this sacred space centered in love. In this spirit, please join me in our words of offering. If not us, then who? If not open hearts, then what? If not now, then when? If not here, then where? If not generously, then how? If not us, then who? If you are on our virtual campus, perhaps this is the moment when you make your first-time contribution. Thank you so much for that. Here's a slideshow showing the different ways you can share. We also have baskets at the side doors for those who exit the Alluvial Sanctuary. No matter which campus you're on, you are invited to use your smartphone and make a contribution through Cash App at $UU Fresno. That's $UU Fresno. May this church continue to be worthy of the many forms of our gifts.
You can go into the chalice extinguishing. You can go back, yeah.
It has meant so much to me to be able to contribute to the service today. It is my sincere hope that everyone on the virtual campus and the Alluvial Avenue campus and those attending the service later on Facebook or YouTube have all felt nurtured, enriched, and supported this morning. As we prepare to end our service and enter into our afternoon, please join us in our chalice extinguishing words led by Karen and Troy.
Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón.
We
extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts.
Tim, I believe you have a few reminders before we end with our closing words and sung benediction.
Tina, in fact, I do, but first I'd like to offer my gratitude for the many forms of your voice in the service this morning. Tina. And let's also appreciate our guest pianist, Leslie. It's always great having you here. Very brief reminders. Remember to exit. We're going to allow our socially distanced folks to leave first through these side doors. Then the rest of us are free to depart any door they wish. But if you use these side doors, you'll be able to be part of the receiving line and say good morning to Tina and to myself. So through those doors. Now, several things happening outside. In the courtyard, we have coffee hour, and if you're new or newish, we invite you to stay, but we also know that can be scary. So we have a warm and wonderful person from our Board of Trustees who is going to be at the visitor welcome table there to answer any questions about this church or Unitarian Universalism. And Jennifer Mayer, would you just stand so folks even get to see? You get to hang out with Jennifer, and that's awesome. Now, next week, there will be no Sunday service next week because of our Labor Day weekend, and we want to honor our staff and our volunteers' stated desire to have a sabbatical weekend with family and friends. So no service next week, but we will be directing you to a virtual service somewhere else in the country where you can attend an awesome Unitarian Universalist congregation and meet some new Unitarian Universalists. We will return here in the sanctuary and on a virtual sanctuary live on the Sunday, September 11th, and our children's programming as well. Now, the day before that, on Saturday, September 10th, could everybody just say this date with me? Saturday, September 10th, we invite you to bring a bite of your family's culture to our multicultural potluck. Join us outside on our Alluvial Avenue campus from 5 to 7 on Saturday, September 10th for some outdoor food and community building fun as we take a trip around the world with our shared dishes. On that same Saturday, which is September 10th, while you're here eating, you can also take part in one of the 3 days of our UU the Vote Weekend of Action, writing letters and postcards to encourage voters in battleground states to hit the polls. We need people to call out those voters to stop this attack against the LGBTQ community, to stop this attack against women and those who would like to have reproductive freedom, to stop this attack against our democracy. So we have a weekend of action where we're inviting you to write letters and postcards to bring people out in battleground states. If you can't make it on Saturday, we've got options for Sunday and also Friday. You can swing by to pick it up. Just check in the table out in the breezeway for information on that. Last, Bill, but not least, I know you're just chomping at the bit to know if there's anybody here who's visiting us for the first, second, or third time. It is our tradition to welcome folks here first, second, or third time. Gently welcome them because we're truly glad you're here. So if this is your first, second, or third time, could you rise for just a moment? We won't leave you standing by yourself for long. Welcome, 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 welcome. I invite the rest of the congregation to rise with them. For our closing words, if you came with a pod, you're invited to join hands. If you didn't, just place your hands over your beautiful beating heart. Our closing words and then our sung benediction. The closing words are brief. They come from Paramahansa Yogananda. Have only love in your heart for others. The more you see good in them, the more you will establish the good in yourself. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
Go from here in peace, go with love. Go from here in peace, go with love. Go from here in peace, go with love. In love, go in peace.
Shalom and assalamu alaikum.